Greeting, Mr. President. My name is Saurabh Chamanara, and this is my sixth virtual audience with you. Mr. President, many Iranians over 60 years of age remember young Donald Trump who traveled to Iran in the good old days of the 70s. Therefore, this president knows Iran and the people, although you know Iran better than many of those who advise you and many of those who testify as Iranian experts. Here I want, in few words, explain how the Shia and Ayatollah were created, and finally to prove that military attack and the sanction in their present form makes Ayatollahs stronger. The great philosopher of Greek, Aristotle, gave Alexander the Great, his student, a very good advice. He said, when you defeat Persian army, do not destroy the nation. Appoint Greek governors with Iranian ministers and use Iran to protect Greece from invasion of the Central Asian Turks. That is why, Mr. President, if you destroy Iran by military attack or the present form of sanction, this will not protect against international terrorism. Our country, United States. Alexander listened to what Aristotle told him, and that is why in the Iranian mythology, Alexander became brother of King Darius, and for 200 years, Iran had a Greek dynasty, Seleuki, as Iranian kings. After the fall of Greek Empire for another 500 years, Iranian and the Roman Empire, two superpowers, continue living like during Iranian and Greek Empire era. But all the geopolitics and balance of power changed when Persian Empire fell 14 centuries ago by Arab Muslim warriors. How the Persian Empire fell by small Arab Muslim warriors is not a mystery if one finds out how Islam at first grew and became unified power in the desert of Arabian Peninsula. Islam, in its first 13 years, when Prophet Muhammad announced being the messenger of Allah, had less than 50 followers when he was forced to immigrate from Mecca to Medina. At that time, there were 4 preachers advocating Allah in Arabian Peninsula, including 1 woman. In Medina, Prophet Muhammad took refuge and welcomed by the Jewish community over there, were majority of the population of Medina. There he met and made friend with Salman the Persian, an Iranian scholar Mazdaki with the ideology of a communism, who his party in Iran were massacred and wiped out, and he ran away and took refuge with the Jewish community in Medina. Islam, as we know today, could not grow to be the dominant power in Arabian Peninsula if there was no Salman the Persian. Quran, as we know today, could be truly divided in 2 parts. The first half is called Makki verses, which revealed as divine revelation during 13 years of Muhammad prophecy when he was living with his first Jewish wife, Khadija in Mecca. The second half is called Medina verses, which revealed during 10 years of prophecy when he was living in Medina with his advisor and strategist Salman the Persian. During these 10 years, Salman the Persian staged a political activity by sending Meccan verses to his friends and army commanders in Iran, advocating that a new Messiah has been born in Arabia. The Iranian and the army commanders were fed up from dictatorship of the Zoroastrian clergies who were controlling the king and the court in Iran. They show no resistance when a tiny Arab Muslim warriors attacked Tisfun, the capital of the Persian Empire, few miles south of today's Baghdad. Salman the Persian became the first governor of Tisfun and sat on the throne of the king of Persia after the fall of Persian Empire. The first protest against Islamic government and Medina verses started perhaps in the first few months, and that made Salman the Persian goes back to Medina, where Muslim second Caliph Omar, after Prophet Muhammad, was living. Here they decided to mix Makki and Madani verses and destroyed all other copies of Quran. Furthermore, they issue a decree, which still exists in the Muslim world, that nobody is allowed to read Quran but in Arabic. This rule still is enforced all over the Muslim countries except Turkey. However, the Battle of Iran took 50 years until the whole Persian Empire was conquered and ruled by Arab Muslims. The last battle was in Gorgan, a city at southeast of Caspian Sea, where 30,000 residents of the city were beheaded. The defeated Iranian, who were disarmed and could not resist anymore, invented a new Islam based on the old Iranian tradition, mysticism, and old Iranian mythology, and called themselves Shia of Ali, meaning followers of Ali. Shia means follower. The fundamentals of Islam, which are: number 1, unity of Allah; 2, Muhammad, messenger of Allah; and 3, life after death, are principles of the religion among all Muslims. But Shia believes Ali, the first Imam of Shia and the fourth Caliph after Muhammad, is rightfully the first Caliph after Muhammad. And like Iranian dynasty, Shia believes after Ali, his children are continuation of Muhammad dynasty until the 12th Imam, who is absent and will appear one day in the future. The Shia itself, with many sects and branches, have more than 1,000 years history. However, this Shia changed from Shia Protestant at the beginning of the revolution, the Shia revolution, to mysticism Shia 500 years ago, and to superstitious Shia in the recent centuries, and finally Since 1979 revolution in Iran, this Shia has changed to Shia for wealth collecting, expanding the terror, and with a desire to be a superpower. With the constitution imposed on the people of Iran, until the appearance of the 12th absent Imam, the Ayatollah should be the ruler and prepare the world for the appearance of the 12th Imam. That is their belief. With this authority, the Grand Ayatollah, or the leader, or Wali Faqih in Persian, meaning the wise man who knows everything, today has been attributed to Ayatollah Khamenei. Therefore, you are facing a regime which has a constitution where on the surface there is parliament, foreign minister, parliament, judiciary system, and everything which is normal, but everything is in the hand of one person who has been chosen by God and is in constant appearance with the 12th Imam who is absent. The final word, Mr. President, the behavior of this regime will never ever changes unless the constitution is changed. I repeat, because this is conclusion of what I wanted to tell you in this 10 minutes. The behavior of this regime will never ever changes unless the constitution is changed. Thank you.